Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid South Wrestling Review for June 22nd, 1985. We will finish out the 1985 run this week and then go back and fill in gaps where we can. Hopefully, get some UWF stuff from 86, 87 as well. Trying to be as comprehensive as we can be. Please subscribe to this channel and also my main channel, Golden Opportunities Coaching. If you're looking for business, life, or relationship coaching, that's the place to go. Entertainment coaching as well. Skandar Akbar is your opener here. He addresses the fans. Kareem Mohammed, Zambui Express, his newest find, and he basically talks about Mohammed's ability to destroy just about everybody and anybody. Private Terry Daniels is his first opponent. This big man is about 400 pounds. He's in camo. He's a large African American fellow and a heck of a brawler. Several shots by the leader of the Zambui Express. Big hot shot across the top rope. Really basic move. Doesn't need to be anything other than that. Punches, kicks, stomps, and Terry Daniels gets kind of eaten alive by this particular series of maneuvers and the kind of choking, punching, kicking, really basic stuff. Brawler who looks menacing, and I think we've lost menacing-looking individuals in wrestling. Turned it into too much entertainment. Dick Murdoch basically says he was called back to Mid-South by Bill Watts. He's disgraced by Ted DiBiase, disgraced by the actions of Akbar and Dick Murdoch back in the Mid-South area. Dick Murdoch with an enhancement match against Carl Styles. Styles, a relative newcomer with a decent body on him. I don't know if he went anywhere else in terms of having more of an impact on the sport. Doesn't seem to have much of one here. But Murdoch, who very well could have been a major leader in wrestling if he had wanted to be, and had been a little more consistent in terms of showing up on a consistent basis. Anyway, shots by Murdoch. Irish whip by the Southern Rebel and a backdrop, and bit of an attempted tackle. Referee, goes right for it, and there's drop kick under the chin. Murdoch with a drop kick is just an amazing thing to see. And the referee kind of pulls him off because Murdoch has his opponent tied up in the ropes. Murdoch, though, sends his opponent back into the ropes, back elbow there, and Murdoch gets a victory with his brainbuster. He's probably the first to make it really famous. Jake Roberts and the Barbarian have been against Cooley and Lane. I was wondering where Jake Roberts was last week. He has not left the area. Just interesting that he did not accompany the Barbarian. I think it's the first time we'd seen that in a while, so kind of threw me off, and I do get thrown with stuff I haven't seen before. Anyway, Barbarian uses power against Cooley. Cooley eventually does, within a couple of years, the original member of... nope, actually, I'm incorrect, so I will cut myself off there. Back elbow by Cooley and a drop kick actually takes the Barbarian off his feet. That's rare. Second drop kick doesn't get what he wants, though. Barbarian shrugs him to the side, and a backbreaker by the Barbarian. Barbarian, super dominant, has not really been tested in the Mid-South area yet. Jake comes in, short punch, snapmare, short knee lift. Jake looks like $1 million, and this is probably about a year from his going to the WWF. Jake gets a few more shots in, tags back to the Barbarian. Barbarian meant to do the majority of his run there, kicks and ultimately some Irish whips. Barbarian with a big body slam and manages to do what he can. Meanwhile, a slap from the outside by Cooley when necessary. When Jake has his other opponent locked up. Big DDT by Jake and a win for the team. Snowman versus Randy Benson. Not exactly a match worth writing home about, but Snowman has been a major star in the last little while since winning the television championship. Lots of power moves by the Snowman, not a big surprise there. Manages to have Benson backing up for quite a few minutes there. Benson gets taken down with arm bars, arm locks, and the like. And the Snowman manages to end the match relatively quickly. Snowman gets a victory with that power slam that he's so famous for. We then go to Brickhouse Brown and Mark Reagan versus Pritchard and Rose. Pritchard and Rose team a couple more times here, so they are certainly kind of, I guess, becoming a bit of a team. And Reagan and Brickhouse Brown are, I guess, kind of trying to find their way. Brickhouse still bringing the boombox to the ring, kind of getting people up and dancing and all of that. Cool deal there, big boombox. I mean, I can't imagine people carrying something that large to listen to music these days. Pat Rose has a bit of an advantage after getting backed off a little bit. Meanwhile, the match continues, and it's clear that Rose kind of takes a dominant position, takes the man over with a side headlock tackle, and Reagan is in control for a little bit. Rose flips out with a hip toss, and Reagan comes back, flips back over with the hip toss and an arm drag of his own, and ultimately match breaks down pretty simply. Rose in the ring for the next few minutes, shoulder tackles by Reagan, attempted drop of the knee or knee cut off by Tom Pritchard, and then a missed drop kick and whatever, all there. Finally, Pritchard comes in, slows the match down a little bit. Brickhouse Brown comes in with Pritchard. They trade hammerlocks and holds and tag back off to Pat Rose. One thing I like about 80s tag teams versus today's tag teams are relatively inconsequential except for very few, but is regular tags in the middle of matches. Now you only see the hot tag. You don't see teams, many teams anyway, working as a team, which is goofy. Anyway, tag off Pritchard with several shots, and we see, Reagan fighting from underneath. Pritchard with a cutoff and the front face lock takes the man back to his own corner and tags back to Rose. Pritchard stays in the ring. Pretty aggressive and dominant there. Sunset flip attempted and executed. And ultimately, this leads to a victory for the babyfaces. Dirty Dutch Mantell and Brad Armstrong is up next. And Mantell, again, as mentioned, really hasn't found an amazing role here in the area. Armstrong, still a guy that you can do just about anything with, but not a guy that is necessarily doing anything of major consequence. One thing that I find frustrating about Mid-South is there's only about maybe 6 guys at a time, 3 babyfaces, 3 heels that are on top, and then matches are they feel thrown together for the rest of TV a lot of the time. Anyway, Mantell misses some shots, and it is side headlock by Armstrong. Armstrong continues taking the man over. Stays on the head for several minutes. Short shots by by Mantell. Mantell brings him back out into the middle of the ring. Takes some punches, snaps him over, and grabs the reverse chinlock, and then, drives, Mantell drives his man down. Armstrong comes out the back door. Mantell grabs the arm, stays on the arm for a couple of minutes. Really, I mean, it's such basic wrestling, and I think, a lot of people say, oh, well, this wouldn't work today. Just change the holds up and work a hold. Maybe the holds are more MMA based, but I think it would work today. And the idea that you can't re-educate an audience over 6 months to a year to accept slower matches with less dives, less martial arts knockout kicks and strikes that should knock a guy out, I think is laziness on the part of booking staff. I think you could do it. I think you may lose in the end a little bit, but not right off. Um, anyway, side walk slam style move by Mantell. Mantell legitimately frustrated over being unable to get the victory there. Sends Armstrong into the buckle. Armstrong fights from underneath, gets back to his feet, gets a couple of jabs off. Happy with that, he is. And then we see Armstrong takes the man into the buckle, goes for the sleeper, hooks the sleeper, roll up out of the corner with the O'Connor roll 1, 2, 3, and or 1, 2.5 actually. Meanwhile, Mantell comes back, kicks the man into the buckle, grabs the tights, rolls him up 1, 2, 3. Dirty White Boys against the Fantastics is your main event. They're given about 10 minutes, a little less than that. And obviously, Dirty White Boys and Fantastics, a major team match there. You kind of got the Fantastics make their way to the ring in completely all gold outfits. Fantastics, certainly ladies, men here. Dirty White Boys not happy with the amount of attention that the Fantastics are getting. It appears that finally Fulton's ribs have cleared up here. Go behind by Denton. Denton and Tommy Rogers trade holds a little bit there. Some mat wrestling with Rogers coming out ahead. Rogers does a fantastic job there, and the cutoff by Denton comes back. Tony Anthony comes in. They've cut the ring off. Fulton not happy that his partner is in trouble, so all four guys get in the ring. They do the double switch spot where the heels end up getting whipped to getting kind of, I guess you'd say, double crossed. Baby faces come up. They're looking good, which I think, double kicks, and then the double bulldogs together. Both men, they run the heads together, boom, 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 and the Fantastics look to be in good space. They do the starfish roast spot, and the Fantastics look like $1 million. They clear the ring pretty well here. Tony Anthony and Tommy Rogers back in the ring. Rogers wraps the man up, tries to get an advantage, comes back. Fulton grabs on the arm and stays there for a bit. Rogers comes in off a tag, splashes the arm. They crimp the arm, and Fulton manages to grab the wrist lock. Denton comes back in, side headlock, and ultimately the Fantastics regain control pretty aggressively here. Couple of minutes left in the program, and a big clothesline by Denton. Denton manages to hold on and cut the ring off on Bobby Fulton, including a stun gun type maneuver across the top rope, and ultimately splash on the back of the leg of Fulton. Fulton manages to get what he wants out of it, spinning neck breaker and a momentary cover. Meanwhile, Anthony comes up, body slam there, misses the big splash in the corner. Rogers comes in with a couple of drop kicks, and all four guys in the ring. Drop kick by Fulton on one of the Dirty White Boys, and a roll up by Tommy Rogers, and the Fantastics get a win on this edition, or to close this edition of Mid-South Wrestling. We'll be back with the final episode of June 1985 right after this.